The mysteries of North Korea have long fascinated the rest of the world. Kim Jong Un's strange methods for ruling his empire have been frequently discussed for their restriction and overall concerning nature. Despite this, the rumors about North Korea have been heavily disputed, though there is some truth behind the whispers. The list of torture, punishment and execution methods highlights the gruesome and harsh conditions North Koreans face under the rule of Kim Jong Un. Not only will this list shock you, it will make you glad you weren't born in North Korea. So keep watching to find out the hidden secrets of what life is like under Kim Jong Un. So welcome back guys to another episode on Best of the Best. Before we head off, please hit the subscribe button and click the notification bell to get updates on all the best video releases from this channel. And please comment down below on how you like this video and the topics you want me to make a video on. Kim Jong Un's favorite method of execution, the firing squad, frequently used as a method of execution throughout history. Kim Jong Un updated the method to not just kill but entirely annihilate the bodies of his victims. Using machine guns instead of a traditional firearm results in a gruesome overkill meant to discrete the victim's body and leave them unrecognizable in most cases. This type of execution is allowed for death as well as disrespect and dehumanization to the victim and their family that would follow them into the afterlife. Hanging is a relatively common method of execution and has been used frequently throughout history. It should come as no surprise after learning of Kim Jong Un's twist on the firing squad that he would modify hanging to make it as painful as possible. Kim Jong Un's hanging involves repositioning the knot to prolong the victim's suffering and cause the maximum amount of pain possible before they ultimately die. This goes to show, no matter how common a practice may be, North Korea will always find a way to make it as awful as possible. Waterboarding has become very controversial after it's rumored being used on suspected terrorists as part of the United States war on terror. US intelligence agencies have been using this method of torture because it is so inhuman. That being said, it should be no surprise that it is used throughout North Korea as a popular type of torture. During the torture, the victim is repeatedly brought to the brink of drowning as a towel is placed over their mouth and nose and water is poured over the top. While the person often survives, there is a lasting mental effect that is usually crippling to an individual. This method of execution has caused a large amount of debate. Supposedly, Kim Jong Un ordered that his own uncle as well as several other traitors be eaten by hungry dogs. According to some sources, 120 hunting dogs were left unfed for 3 days inside a pit. The victims were then stripped naked and thrown into the pit to be devoured. While this is certainly a shocking and gruesome type of execution worthy of being used by Kim Jong Un, it has since been denied. His uncle was indeed executed by the same method. Execution by anti-aircraft gun is one of Kim Jong Un's personal favorites and as a result has become one of the most common ways to be executed in North Korea. It has been used frequently against political enemies and most prisoners in North Korea by Kim Jong Un, as it results in an overkill of its intended victim even more than the machine gun firing squad. The anti-aircraft gun is a high-caliber weapon similar to a modern cannon. It is able to reach aircraft heights and destroy them brutally, which means it's most dangerous when used in close range on humans. Being burned to death is one of the most painful ways to go. That being said, it should be no surprise that this is yet another type of execution used in North Korea. Of course, instead of just burning the intended victim, Kim Jong Un went for a maximum pain and suffering by using a flamethrower. Because it is such a violent death, this method is reserved for extreme political crimes such as not following the orders of Kim Jong Un, like the Deputy Public Security Minister Oh Sang-hon. He was executed shortly after Kim Jong Un's uncle was supposedly eaten by starving hunting dogs. Best known for its infamous use during the Holocaust. It is no surprise Kim Jong Un uses mass execution. This type of execution is seen throughout the country, both inside and outside of labor camps. It is often done by Kim Jong Un's famous machine gun firing squad, but has also been carried out by other methods of execution on this list. It has been reported that these executions are often done in view of the public to serve as a warning to anyone considering any type of crime. Gruesome torture is a type of punishment that combines mental as well as physical torture. With these methods, the victim is forced to stay in a very small cell, similar to the size of a box. The small size of the box makes it impossible for the individual to lay down or stand. They are instead forced to crouch, barely able to sit in most cases. The victim will remain in this position, often without food or water, for any variation of time with a minimum of 3 days. Not only does the solitary confinement heavily impact the individual, some are actually left to starve or die of dehydration. Possibly the oldest and most studied form of execution is decapitation. Though it began in early France with the feared guillotine, it has seen an increase in popularity in the modern world for being especially gruesome and terrifying. While it has been mostly phased out of the first world countries for being inhuman, it comes as no shock that it is still utilized in North Korea. Ironically, it is rumored South Korea has plans to capture and decapitate Kim Jong Un. While it is likely to never happen, it is interesting that he could get a taste of his own medicine. In order to further discourage individuals from committing crimes, North Korea utilizes the idea of 3 generations of punishment. In this method, the person who committed the crime is not only the one punished. Instead, the person's children and their grandchildren are also sentenced to the same fate. This type of punishment ruins any possibility of success for that specific family. The idea behind this method is to instill fear in North Korean citizens, forcing them into submission out of fear of hurting their own family members, rather than just affecting their own lives. These all punishments by North Korean leader comes as no surprise to anyone who lives in North Korea, and hence the fear in them is stilled forever. We hope that these type of leaders are executed in the same fashion they use on other humans, and as such leaders should never exist because they are a big threat to the whole society.